Okay, a little review. This is not an assessment review. The second two videos are, but this one's just a recap on how to solve these equations, okay? Negative 16x to the second power equals 80x. So we have two answers that we need to find. But before I decide what I'm doing, I need to have the equation equal to 0, okay? Right now it's not, so I need to subtract the 80x. And since I can't go with the negative 16x to the second, I need to put minus 80x right here, okay? So now the equation I have is negative 16x to the second minus 80x equals 0. Okay, now I underline the big terms, and there's two of them. So I would look to do the GCF. And then I'm going to see if I have a difference of perfect squares, okay? Okay, GCF, I have the negative in front, and I do have x on each term. And if you do a GCF test with 16 and 80, you're going to get 16, okay? So I pull out negative 16x, and then I go up and divide by negative 16x. Okay, so we can cross out the x's here. Negative 16 divided by itself is 1. X second divided by x is x. And then if I take negative 80 divided by negative 16, I get positive 5, so I put plus 5. Now this is not a difference of perfect squares because we have a plus sign, so I get rid of that. Okay, so I wrap him up because he has an x, and then that's F1, that's F2. Okay, so F1, negative 16x could equal 0, or 2x plus 5 can equal 0. So I divide by negative 16, and x equals 0. Okay, and then oh, that's a 1, not a 2. 1x. So then I'm minus 5, and 1x equals negative 5. So 0 and negative 5 are my two answers. Okay. All right, my next problem has two answers. And the zero's there, so that's good. So I know how many terms there are. There's 3, okay? So I make my GCF, and then I'm going to do my T-chart. Okay, so GCF, you don't have the negative in front, you don't have x on everything, and then 1, 3, and 18 is just a 1 GCF, so you can just cross that out. There's no point in dividing by 1. So ABC, A times C. So A is 1 and C is negative 18. So that gives me a negative product of 18. So a negative product, I'm finding a difference. It's going to equal 3. 1 and 18 is not 3. 2 and 9, that's not 3 either. 18 divided by 3 is 6, and that's 3. So those are the numbers. Now that 3 up there is minus or negative, so got to have that be negative, and difference means they'll be opposite signs. Okay, now A is 1x squared, so if it's 1x squared, we know that if it's a 1x squared, I can just write that as x times x. So I just need two parentheses as long as it's 1. So xx plus 3 minus 6. So that's factor 1, that's factor 2. So x plus 3 can equal 0, or x minus 6 can equal 0. Put 1's in front, so minus 3, I get negative 3 for my first answer. Plus 6, I get positive 6 for my second. Okay. Next problem, this time there are no second powers, so I put x equals, there's only one answer. So if there's only one answer, let's box the x's up and collect them on the same side. because I only have x's. They're like terms, so let's collect them. So minus 3x, minus 3x. So I have 4x plus the 6 that's already there equals 2. And now I work on getting the x by itself. So I have minus 6, minus 6. So 4x equals negative 4. And then I divide by 4. And negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1. Okay, so all right, now the next one, they have x to the second, so there are 2 answers. Okay. And I don't have my 0, so I put a 1 there, and I add 1x, and I can add that to the 2x squared. I subtract 2x, not under the 3x, okay? So 2 plus 1 is 3x to the second, and then I take negative 3 minus 2, it's negative 5x, and then I've got my minus 18 equals 0. Okay, so now I see, okay, there's 3 terms to this equation. So GCF and my t-test. Okay. GCF, we don't have the negative, we don't have x on everything, and 3, 5, and 18 gives me a 1 GCF, so we can forget that. Okay, so A times C, I take positive 3 times negative 18, and that gives me a negative of 54. So it's again difference that equals 5. And I wrote this problem wrong because there is no 2 factors of 54 that gives you a difference of 5. Now, eventually, we don't know how yet, but eventually if I can't find the t-chart, I don't really know what to do, so I'm just going to leave and stop this problem.